Alright, in this video we're going to be talking about the order of operations. We're going to do a quick review of that, and then we're also going to talk about evaluating and simplifying algebraic expressions. So quick review here, order of operations. The first thing we need to do is simplify the grouping symbols. Then we need to deal with the exponents, and then multiplication and division happen left to right. So if the multiplication is on the left, you do that first. If the division is on the left, you do that first. And the same thing is true for addition and subtraction. Okay, so with simplifying and evaluating, simplifying means you are given regular numbers and you just need to perform all the operations, or you need to do all the operations that are possible. So that could also happen with variables, but in this case we're going to start with 10 to the 5th power. And so 10 to the 5th power just means 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. So we have 10 times 10 is 100, times 10 is 1,000, times 10 is 10,000, times 10 is 100,000. With 0.2 to the 4th power, that means 0.2 times 0.2 times 0.2 times 0.2. Notice instead of using the dots like I used up here, I'm using parentheses because I don't want my dots and my decimals to get mixed up. So parentheses for multiplication is a good idea for the second one. For the first one, it wouldn't really matter. You can use either one. So to simplify this one, 0.2 times 0.2 is kind of like 2 times 2, so we're going to get a 4, but there has to be 2 decimal places, one for each, right? So 0.2 times 0.2 is actually going to be 0.04. Once we multiply that times the other 0.2, well, 4 times 2 is 8, but then we need to put in another decimal point, right? So now we're at 0.008. And then that times 0.2 is going to be like 8 times 2, or 16. But we need another decimal point. So we're going to end up with 4 total decimal points and a 16. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 16. So what I would do in this case, I would just say 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is 16, and then make sure I had 4 decimal points in there. Alright, we're going to keep doing some simplifying. We're going to get some more operations in there, and we're going to follow the order of operations. So in this one on the top here, we have parentheses, we have exponents, we have subtraction, and we have division. The order of operations will tell us to do the parentheses first, so we end up with 6. We still have that squared and then divided by 4. We have to do the exponents first, so 36 divided by 4, and then we end up with 9. Try to do the second one. Pause it, see if you get the same answer as I do. Again, we have exponents, parentheses, division. So we're going to do these parentheses first. We're going to get 15. We can actually do the exponents and these parentheses at the same time, kind of, because they're not affecting each other. So 2 to the 5th is 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. So we have 32 plus what was in that parentheses divided by 5. Now we have the division, so we're going to do that first. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. And then we had to add that to the 32. And so we get 35. I'm using the same color here, so I'm going to put a little line to make sure you know that this next one is its own problem. Now we have 2 to the 4th minus 1 divided by 5. So this fraction bar does 2 things. Not only is it division, it's also a grouping symbol. Essentially what it's saying is simplify the top, simplify the bottom, in this case nothing to be done, and then do the division. Okay, so remember, a fraction bar acts as both a grouping symbol and a division symbol. So we're going to simplify the top, we're going to get 2, 4, 8, 16 minus 1, and that's going to be divided by 5. So 15 divided by 5, and that's going to be 3. Alright, let's go to the next page here. What is the value of the expression when x equals 3 and y equals 4? So this is slightly different than simplifying. This is called evaluating. And what evaluating means is they give you an expression with variables, but they also tell you what those variables represent. So you need to plug in those values into their variable spots and then simplify. So evaluating is like simplifying, but with an extra step in the beginning. So the first thing we're going to do is replace the variables with 3 and 4. So x is 3. Now that needs to be squared, so I'm going to put little parentheses to show that we're going to square that. Here's plus 2, and that needs to be multiplied by x. Remember, because a letter next to a number means multiplication. The 16 is still a 16. Division, and then y is a 4, and we're going to square that. Okay? You'll notice I often put parentheses into the expression when I'm evaluating, when I'm plugging in a number for a variable. That has a couple important functions. It makes sure that any negatives are with the number that you plug in there, and it also makes sure that you multiply things that are supposed to be multiplied. You'll see in the next one how that works. Alright, I'm going to move this down to give us a little more room here. Okay, so we have 3 squared up top, that's 9. We have 4 squared, that's 16, and then the 2 times 3 is 6, and we still have the 16 here. And these look like, oh wait, this is division? Okay. So we have addition, addition, and division. So that division has to happen first. 16 divided by 16 is 1. And then we still have that 9 plus 6, and then that plus there. So 9 plus 6 is 15, plus 1. And then we finally get to 16 is the answer to that one.